Good evening, I'm John Reed, and thanks for joining us tonight for another episode of Real Staffing. Tonight we'll be focusing on the topic of contribution as it pertains to effective leadership in the ranks of senior TSS management. Our award-winning field team has been hard at work these past few months, capturing some riveting and, quite frankly, thought-provoking testimonials from the front lines of TSS. The results were nothing short of eye-popping, to say the least. We start tonight in Temecula, California, where field correspondent Craig Capper was able to capture the first ever recorded interview with high-profile young celebrities Caroline and Addison Capper on what it takes to deliver strong contribution.
What does it take to deliver a strong contribution? Well, it takes a lot of personal sacrifice. My dad works for Robert Half, specifically for technology staffing services. For him to do his job right, he wakes up super early and hits the road with the bakery trucks. He has to leave us every day to visit his branch locations to help them drive starts and close perm deals. To do a great job, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what. The market is really good right now. To keep up with demand, you have to hire a lot of people. It's always about the people. You have to hire right, and you have to hire fast. You have to focus on your starts, but don't take your eye off your perm business. Employee retention is key. You have to get your new hires up the field and always have a can-do attitude. Make sure you have fun and be the greatest show on earth, but never take your eye off your bottom line. Yeah, our dad works super hard, but he tells us all of his hard work is going to pay off so that we can go to college and grow up to do whatever we want. So thanks for working so hard, Dad, and don't forget to bring it!
Absolutely riveting stuff coming out of the beautiful hamlet of Temecula, California. Next, we go for insight to the gridiron, where Coach Mike examines the consistency and the hard work required to crush the competition.
To be successful, it takes a total team effort. The place that I just got to, we had to teach them to be accountable. We had to teach them how to be part of the team by giving their best effort for the group. If only half of those guys are doing that, you'll never reach your full potential as a team. So everybody has to contribute, whether it's the special teams, the scout team, offense and defense. If you have 10 guys giving their best effort and 10 guys aren't giving their best effort, you'll never reach your full potential as a team, as a staff. It just won't happen. So the thing that we have to do as coaches, we have to push them beyond their comfort zone in the preseason with weightlifting, with practice, with conditioning, so then we get to that big point in the game, they're ready to be successful as a group. It takes the whole game, the little things matter, but for them all to reach that full potential of 100%, everybody's got to be on board. You know, Vince Lombardi gave a great speech when he got to Green Bay that said most of you are given 100% most of the time. That's why they're mediocre. For us to be successful, all of you will have to give 100% all the time. And of course they did that and won 2 championships. So that should be the goal of any organization or team, is to get everybody all in and everybody give 100% so you can reach your full potential.
Well, that's a powerful message, one that I think we can all learn from. Next up, we go to the City of Angels, where Westwood branch managers Vanessa Stern and Amy Canivax provide great insight into the mindset of an effective leader.
You're tasked today with defining authentic leadership. So today we're going to explain to you what authentic leadership truly means to us.
So what that means when we talk about being an authentic leader, one of the first things that comes to mind is leading from the front. Actually being able to show your new hires how to do the job by doing the job yourself. A really great example of that, a way to do that, is to actually get on the phones, set CVs, go out and see your clients, and take your new hires with you. Let them see the actual day-to-day process of interacting with a client, closing a deal, getting those big wins. And then what they can do is they can actually take that knowledge and use that as they're trying to get up the field.
I also think another way to be an authentic leader is to truly hold yourself accountable. When you're at work, you're 100% invested, you're fully committed to the role, and you're fully committed to helping the team. I think it's very obvious to a lot of people on the team if you're not 100% present. So I think holding yourself to the same standards of the team is also qualities of an authentic leader.
If that does not resonate with you, I'm not sure what will. Our next segment takes us to the City of Lakes, Minneapolis, Minnesota, where senior recruiter Mike Baker knows a thing or two about contributions that can be delivered from a new hire.
I think the development of myself and the team was kind of twofold. I think, first there was, developing the fundamentals of a good recruiter and a good inside-outside team. So, kind of to use a sports analogy, I think we had to learn to, pass, shoot, and dribble before we could run an inbounds play. And then, I remember very vividly having kind of a memorable review at some point where my management kind of said, okay, Mike, you're pretty good, but we want you to be great, and maybe even the best. And that's when things got, again, collaborative and cooperative of, okay, how can we be out in the community networking and getting to know candidates that we're not seeing on the basics, or how can we make sure that, we're moving fast and efficient, yet with quality and all those things. So kind of taking it next level, again, with collaboration and cooperation. And so I think those were the two kind of phases of both developing the team and me, I guess.
Truer words have never been spoken. Moving on, readiness. How does that factor into the success of an effective leader? To find the answers to those questions, we looked deep in the heart of Texas, where the Robinson kids had a thought or two, or four, to say about the topic.
At Robert Half, senior leadership requires contribution, and readiness is key. We all know that at some point your number will be called, and readiness is when your preparation and opportunity meet.
Each step in the hierarchy of leadership has a foundational element that, when executed properly, will prepare leaders for those moments when their contribution will make the biggest difference.
Being ready brings confidence, and confidence in these situations leads to contribution that will make a difference in the company and its employees.
I think we can all agree with these sentiments. The city of brotherly love also knows something about the importance of managerial contribution in turning around an underperforming market.
What was Philly like when you started?
Philadelphia was a little rough. High turnover. It was kind of challenging retaining, training. It seemed like every time you started with a new team, it kind of fell apart. So.
Not really good culture.
February 2013, we restarted.
Yeah, so that's when I joined the team, as well as we continued through that year to make new hires, where we really focused on training and coming together and really the morale as a group, putting our heads down and looking for a change.
How did 2013 finish?
We got up to 10 people internally. There was a lot of culture building. Business was growing right as we went into the turn.
In 2014?
And in the year 2014, we hit our all-time high at 3,400 hours. Really still a great team. We now have 5 people here that have been together for more than a year, which makes it a really great culture, and really excited for next year. Yeah.
Lastly, we go to the Sunshine State to evaluate the rules for success and how to get in the right mindset to achieve that success.
So my favorite one of Bordeaux's rules is number 3, watch the actions, not the words. I think it's hugely important for the business. You got to make sure that we're expecting what we're inspecting, going after people to ensure that their numbers are correct, they're hitting their action items, and they're not just saying that they're doing the calls, but in fact we're making sure that the ad calls are getting done, the EQCs are getting done. All of these pieces of the business are hugely important in order for us to be successful. So you got to make sure you're making a conscious effort to go after the actions, not just what people are saying.
The rule that I like most of Matt's rules is rule number 5. This too shall pass. We all know how this business gets so hard on a day-to-day basis. You can't get too high on the highs, you can't get too low on the lows. You need to understand that this too shall pass.
My favorite Bordeaux rule is number 10. Hang around long enough, all your enemies will die. The reason why it's relevant to our team and our business, in this business there's tons of ups and downs. You deal with candidates that don't want to work with you, you deal with clients that are working with competitors. What I found out over time, if you're diligent and consistent with your marketing and your follow-ups, eventually all your enemies will die and that business will come full circle.
My favorite of Bordeaux's rules is rule number 11, which says nothing is personal. I love this rule because it consistently reminds me that the moment we hold on to things or take them personally, they immediately get in the way of starts, they get in the way of making money, and they ruin your day. So I've decided, leave everything personal at the door.
Well, there you have it, folks. Clearly, there's a great deal involved in achieving extraordinary results through contribution and collaboration. Join us next week for another high-profile topic, the RCS. What is it really based on? And could there be a dark horse in the running for this year's top spot? Until next week, I'm John Reed.